Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our November 1st, 2021 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including what's happening with the HBO Max project known as Val-Zod. We're going to be talking about the latest episode of Supergirl, awards for TV shows, comic books, and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to ask for your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Doing well, and yourself?
Just busy here at the house. Just doing, you were calling me domesticated before we started, which is absolutely true.
Yeah.
But no one wants to hear about me doing chores all day. They want to hear about Superman here on Superman Homepage Live, and that means we want to hear from the people watching us live right now on YouTube. So, if we're not too busy and we don't have that much on the docket, about halfway through the show, we start taking calls. And how do we do that? Well, it's really simple. First, you're going to need Skype. Go to Skype, search for Superman Homepage, and then send us a message saying that you'd like to be on the chat with us live tonight. Now, a couple things. One, wait for us to call you. Don't call us. This isn't a blow-off. It's a technological thing. Things can get really screwed up really fast. Also, if you are watching Superman Homepage Live on YouTube with an external speaker, please mute that if we're going to get you on the phone, because we're on a bit of a delay and that can really screw things up.
Yes, indeed. And for those who are tuning in live via YouTube tonight, we invite you to join in the comments. There's already a bunch of people, JP, Mark, John, a couple of others, already in there having a chat. Feel free to join them. Michael and I will keep an eye on your comments and on your conversations, and we'll react to them as the show goes on. And if you'd like your comment or question featured live on the screen, that's called a super chat. All you do is click the little dollar symbol there. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate, and we'll feature your comment or question on the screen as we go to air. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. We appreciate your support. And if others would like to support the Superman homepage and maybe promote their business or their channel or whatever it might be, then feel free to click the join button below. There are different levels of perks, and you can become an official member of our YouTube channel and our program there. It's been a relatively quiet week in the world of Superman, Michael, compared to the last couple of weeks, with DC FanDome, with all the controversies. So much happening, but we still have a fair bit to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that it's calmed down, because with the 1-2 punch of the Jonathan Kent thing and then the Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow thing, I was ready for things to just not be as contentious. It's probably the best way to say that. So yeah, But no, we got some interesting things to talk about tonight. Starting off with something from HBO Max.
Yeah, but before we get into that, John in the comments reminded us that daylight savings ends for you guys there this coming weekend. So we will still remain at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for everyone in the US. So the time won't change for anyone in the US, but because of the time change or daylight savings change, the people in the Southern Hemisphere, it will go an hour later once again. So if you're in Sydney like me, it will be at 2:30 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. So just be aware of the time change next week and moving forward until, I think, March, whatever it is, when the daylight savings things flip over again.
And then your time shifts at some point too.
That's right, when we come out of summer. So just be aware for next week and the following weeks after that, we move an hour later if you're in the southern hemisphere of the world. Everybody else, it stays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. All right, yes, we mentioned HBO Max have a project titled Val-Zod with Michael B. Jordan's production company creating, we think it's a movie, we're not sure at this stage. We were thinking that it might go to the cinemas, to theaters, but it looks like these days most of these types of projects just kind of get to HBO Max as a exclusive there. But they have landed 2 writers to pen the story, Darnell Matea and Josh Peters, writing the story for the HBO Max adaptation of the Val-Zod story. We're not sure if Jordan is starring in the film as Val-Zod at this point in time. He's still to decide. But this will be the story of the Earth 2 Kryptonian known as Val-Zod, who, like our Superman, found refuge on Earth. And if you're wondering who Matea and Peters are, they've written many film and television projects, including American Snow, The Nola, and Hannibal.
Yeah, I am now kind of fascinated. I guess at some point I'm really going to have to finish up reading Earth 2 before this thing airs. I'm fascinated that this is the direction that they're going in. But HBO Max as a streaming service is like the perfect place for this. So I'm really kind of excited to see how well this does. I'm not looking forward to the people that aren't really paying attention to the fact that this is a different Superman. It's not Kal-El, it's Val-Zod, and it's a different Earth altogether, and are just going to assume that Warner Brothers is giving us a black Superman because apparently that would be bad. But racist gonna racist. But yeah, no, I'm glad it's got writers. I'm glad this is moving forward because so many of these projects, we announce it, we talk about it, and then it just goes nowhere. And it fills the weekly schedule, but it's kind of nice when these things actually come out.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out, and what kind of time frame we're looking at. We don't have a release date at this point in time. I imagine it will either be late 2022 or early 2023 at this point in time. So it's still a fair way off, but it is interesting that they are going this direction, and will be interesting to see if Michael B. Jordan does star in it. I've seen a lot of people saying, there are other black actors in Hollywood. Not everything has to be Michael B. Jordan. Obviously he was in Creed. He's been in a lot of other films. He just pops up. He seems to do not almost like cameo roles or lesser character roles in a lot of the productions that he does produce, or that he is part of. But there obviously is an opportunity for him to star in this if he so chooses.
Yeah, I mean, he was the bad guy, or the antagonist, I guess I should say, in Black Panther. Yes. So, I like him as an actor. It would be neat. I mean, and people have been, associating him with the role of a black Superman for years now. And obviously there are other black actors, and there's many that would be really qualified to play it. If he's just going to be a producer, that's good. If he's going to star in it, that's good too. It's it's kind of a win-win either way.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll wait and see what happens there with this HBO Max Val-Zod project. And we're not calling it a movie because it could be a mini-series, could be anything at this point in time. We just don't know. So we'll wait and see and keep you posted on anything that happens with Val-Zod. All right, so moving on, before we get away from the movie stuff, I was interested to see that there's a double billing happening in Japan for Batman v Superman and the Joker film this November. It's a limited time double bill screening. Both films will be screened by the cinema chain Grand Cinema Sunshine at select theatres from November 1st through to November 11th. So for the next 11 days, you can buy your tickets, check out the times at Grand Cinema Sunshine website.
It's a really weird double bill. Like it's Batman v Superman, which is this 2.5 hour action superhero film that's setting up the Justice League, and Joker, which is kind of like an independent film. Really not low budget, but not there's not explosions and people flying in it, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, weird choice, but wait and see. what fans think of it. Obviously, it's been in Japan back when it first, Batman v Superman first came out. But yeah, it's an interesting double billing. But if you're in Japan and you're interested in seeing those two films at the same time together, the next 11 days is your chance at Grand Cinema Sunshine Theatres. All right, let's move on to the television side of things, where the most recent episode of Supergirl was titled "I Believe in a Thing Called Love," and it was an interesting episode in that Lex is so enamored with Nixley. She's the love of his life, from the future, or possible future that he's come back from, where the two of them are, intertwined with one another's lives. And Lex is now trying to win this Nixley over back in current time, because the two of them haven't met at this point in her history. And you gave this a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I really liked this episode. Lex Luthor usually brings up the ratings of the episodes, and I was just fascinated that they kind of hinted the last time we saw Lex, he had just gotten out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
They declared him, he was found innocent, or he was acquitted, I guess is the best way to say that. And it seemed like they were going in the direction of playing with the idea that a really, really rich guy can kind of play on the fears and the feelings of disenfranchisement of the regular people and use that to gain power. And it seems like they've completely sidestepped that and just gone that this is a future Lex who's come back to win once again the heart of the woman he loves and reunite with her. If that is what he's doing, he is a villain. It doesn't mean I'm open to the possibility that he might be lying, but it was really endearing to watch him trying to do nice things for her in an attempt to win her over when she wanted nothing to do with her. And I really, I liked that part of the episode. I actually liked the whole episode. It was a really, they're ending on a very strong streak.
I like the Lex Luthor Nixley parts of it. Don't get me wrong. It's funny to see Lex, so head over heels with somebody that is kind of breaking his, character in a way, in that he's usually just out to get anything for, just for himself. Love has never been in his wheelhouse. What I'm not enjoying is these totems and the way they're just using them in whatever fashion they want. They're using them as shields. I mean, how does a totem of courage or a totem of love or whatever become a force field barrier? I mean, it just kind of, it's so pseudoscience. It really pulled me out of the episode. I was just like, this is laughable. How are they coming up with these force fields by these totems that are supposed to have a specific power? With the love one, it's about love and a compassion. With the courage one, it's about obviously courage. The human one, people's humanity. But somehow they're able to use them as force fields.
Yeah, I think that's. I think the technical term would be plot mechanics. I don't know. I just. It is. They are the MacGuffin of this season. It's something that the characters really are concerned about, but really I think the audience, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, which is again entirely possible. I think the audience is here is just to see what's going on with the characters.
Yeah.
To watch how they're acting. Nixley, I think, is one of the strongest antagonists the show has had in its history, and I enjoy kind of seeing Kelly and Alex's relationship going forward, and they're engaged now, which is so many shows end on a wedding, so that kind of makes sense. And I gotta say, the kid's kind of annoying, but I find most kids on these shows annoying. So that's just me being a curmudgeon. it's nothing against the actress.
I actually like her.
She's actually improving,
Yeah, she's really
as
good.
it's really kind of nice to see. And it's, she's adorable, don't get me wrong. But just, and her yelling for Supergirl was really cute.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, I see what you're saying though. It's just, but with the totems, I'm just accepting that they're there, because I thought the concept was kind of silly to begin with. So I'm trying not to think too closely about them lest I go mad.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's get to some of the questions that have been posed in the comments. Let's see. What does the love totem actually do when it's intact, and what kind of power does it have compared to the ones they've found so far? Asks John.
Whatever power they need at the moment for the show to continue, the story to continue.
Yeah,
That's. I mean, that's. I really have no idea.
yeah. Now, Lex is using future technology, and Brainy's actually indicated that it's technology from the 31st century. Is that how far into the future Lex has actually traveled?
It sounds like it, which is weird. But he's Lex Luthor, so again, is he lying or not? Um, it would be interesting to find out towards the end that this is all just an attempt. This that it would just be an attempt on his part to get the totems and for him to get the ultimate power. And so he's got this whole like long game about how they were in love and he's going to betray her at the last moment because this is Lex Luthor. I mean, if it turns out he's in love, that's adorable. If it turns out that he betrayed her, that makes perfect sense too.
Now, John's confused about the Lex and Nixley relationship. It did take place in some future. It's not a future that hasn't happened yet. So it's not something we've seen. It's not something Nixley's aware of. So that's why it's a little bit confusing if you're not exactly sure. But it's happened. It's something that's happened off screen in the future. It hasn't happened. It hasn't occurred yet.
Yeah, I just it really didn't hit me till later that it could have all been a lie, and that just made me feel silly because I should know better with Lex.
Exactly.
I really should.
All right, and then so we have the next new episode airing tomorrow night on the CW and here on Fox 8. It is titled Truth or Consequences, and here is the promo trailer for this particular episode.
There will always be people like me and the super friends to stand up to you.
Only 3 episodes remaining, and this is the penultimate week, I guess, if you consider the fact that the final 2 episodes are airing back to back on the final night of viewing. So this is the 18th episode of the final season of Supergirl, and it's looks like they're trying to squeeze in as much as they can with the celebrations over the nuptials of Alex and Kelly, and then the ongoing celebrations surrounding that, while they're also trying to battle Nixley and Lex at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to be a packed 3 episodes. It is weird to think that we're 2 weeks away from the show being over. What am I going to do on the weeks where I am turning my reviews in late? I mean, I'll just have to figure out something else to turn in late to you just to keep up with that.
Exactly. We'll have to give you something else to do. But looking forward to tomorrow night's episode, Truth or Consequences. And with the series coming to an end, the cast have been doing various interviews, especially Melissa Benoist, who has recently done an interview with EW.com, where she spoke about how she feels about saying farewell to the show, whether she'll ever put on the cape ever again. And she says here, I'm not opposed to putting on the suit again, and I know there probably will be opportunities. It would have to feel right for the character, and I know they would probably do it justice. I love playing with Grant Gustin. I love Tyler Hoechlin and Bitsy Chulok on Superman and Lois. So no, I'm not opposed to it. So there is the opportunity for her to make an appearance somewhere.
Yeah, Stephen Amell was asked this recently too. I think on Michael Rosenbaum's show about how would he ever suit up again? And I think we're now at a point with unless the actor leaves under really bad circumstances or just completely hated it,
Mm.
I think they're all just of the opinion that at some point you can suit up again. Just for whatever reason. I don't think they're hinting that she's going to end up being on Superman and Lois, but I wouldn't be surprised if Superman and Lois gets a third season, that she wouldn't make an appearance. I don't think she's going to do it anytime soon, because she's kind of going through that, distancing herself. And, a lot of these interviews that she's doing is also for the book that she co-wrote with her sister.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one of those things where it looks like she wants to move on, but I don't think she doesn't appear to be embarrassed or like, cutting it off like I'll never do that again. Christopher Reeve said that after Superman 3 and then ended up doing Superman 4. So
And there are rumors and have been rumors circulating about whether Tyler Hoechlin will appear as Superman or as Clark in the final episodes of Supergirl. That's been debunked. It was a fake description going out around about the internet. The official word is that he is not due to appear in the final episodes of the series, unless they're keeping it from us. But
that's entirely possible. I don't think so. What I would like to see is him talking to her via text to kind of go back to the pilot, so that there would be kind of a nice little circular thing there going on.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see just what happens there with the final episodes. But she's not opposed to putting on the suit again, and unlike someone like Henry Cavill or the roles where Supergirl isn't a role where you have to get into a huge physical shape to be able to put the suit on again. So it's not outside the realms of possibility. Like there's going to have to be 6 months worth of work to kind of get back into shape for that. But I was surprised talking about John Cryer being the best part of a recent episode. He was awarded the Saturn Award for Best Guest Performance on a Television Series for his role as Lex on Supergirl at the 46th Annual Saturn Awards earlier this week.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, he deserves it. He's really good in the role.
But did you see who he was up against? He had, let's see, there was Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon on The Mandalorian, Mark Hamill as Jim the Vampire on What We Do in the Shadows, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan on The Walking Dead, Kate Mulgrew as Alma Lane on Mr. Mercedes, Billy Porter as Keith on The Twilight Zone, and Jerry Ryan as Seven of Nine on Star Trek Picard. So he beat out some pretty accomplished actors.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, that's pretty significant in that case.
So congratulations to John Cryer for winning that award at the Saturn Awards. Unfortunately, Supergirl was beaten out as the best superhero adaptation television series by The Boys, and Melissa Benoist also lost out to Catriona Balfe as Claire Fraser on Outlander for the best actress on television.
So to be fair, the second season of The Boys was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I can see, especially given the last season of Supergirl, putting them up against each other. I kind of see where The Boys won out on that one.
Yeah, no surprise there. And speaking about nominations and awards, Superman and Lois has been nominated for a People's Choice Award in the category of Favorite Sci-Fi Fantasy Show, and the show is up against similar shows in the same category: La Brea, Lucifer, The Flash, Loki, Shadow and Bone, and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. Some stiff competition.
It's got some stiff competition there because WandaVision and especially did very well and was very popular. And I would say I have not seen that of those. I've really only seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was really good. But I think that Superman and Lois was much better in terms. So yeah, I'm pulling for it, obviously.
Yeah. So if you
Go
want to
home
vote,
team.
if you want to vote, you can go to peopleschoice.com to place your vote. The awards are scheduled to air on NBC and E! Entertainment on Tuesday, December 7th. So you've got just over a month if you're interested in voting in the 2021 People's Choice Awards, voting for Superman and Lois in the favorite sci-fi fantasy show category. So get involved if you're interested in doing that. All right, now speaking of Superman and Lois, an interesting announcement this week. The Hollywood Reporter breaking the news that Jenna Dewan will reprise her role as Lucy Lane for season 2 of Superman and Lois. We haven't seen her since she first appeared in the Supergirl TV series back in season 1. So it's a fair time between reprising this role for Jenna.
Yeah, I was really excited to hear this though, because I liked her in the role, and unlike Sam Lane, where I thought the recasting was the best way to go, because the guy playing Sam Lane in the first season of Supergirl is really good at that role. But the Sam Lane in Superman and Lois had to go in different directions, and I really didn't see that actor whose name is escaping me at the moment. But Jenna Dewan was great, and you put her next to Bitsy, they kind of look like sisters already. So this is I'm excited for this. I'm going to be excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, we haven't seen her since season 1 finale, where Jenna first played the role of Lucy, Lois's older sister, and she remained started in the 3rd episode of the season and remained as a series regular for 13 episodes, and then we didn't see her for the last 5. So it's interesting that they were able to get her back and that she was keen to continue playing the role. Glenn Morshower is the actor you were looking for as far as the Sam Lane.
Yeah, he's good at that kind of. I was about to say a bad word. Just like direct and taciturn military official.
Yeah.
He played that in X-Men First Class. He played that in the movie Good Night, Good Luck. But to be kind of the grandfather and the guy that's gonna do what Sam Lane did in the first season of Superman and Lois, you need somebody who has a little more range.
Yeah, indeed. All right, and speaking of Superman and Lois, in an interview with TVLine.com, the showrunner Todd Helbing spoke about what we can expect for season 2 of the TV series. He says now the kids are a year older. Jordan and Jonathan's interests are going to draw them away from the family a bit more, and Clark's going to have a hard time. So that sounds like a bit of time has passed, or maybe just it's been a year since we first saw them, so a fair bit's taken place. And also we've had the introduction of Natalie, the daughter of John Henry Irons and Lois Lane from an alternate Earth, coming to this Earth. And Helbing says, when you introduce one new person into a dynamic, it completely changes things. So it'll be interesting to see just how much of an impact she has on the dynamic of the show.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a bit about Lois and how she's got to deal with being the owner of the paper now instead of just a reporter on it. So it seems like this season's going to have kind of a different feel to the first one, which is probably the best thing, because I don't think you could redo that kind of what they did in the first season again. So now it seems to be kind of going into more of a standard family drama type show, which is great. It's going to be sad to see Tyler's Clark getting all upset because his kids don't want to spend time with him anymore.
Indeed. So we'll wait and see. And we don't know yet when Superman and Lois will return, but it will be in early 2022. So we'll keep you posted when we hear about any dates. All right, we're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and come back on the flip side to talk about Young Justice Phantoms. We're going to be talking about comic books, do our This Week in History and our fan favourite segment. So we're back right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
When Lex Luthor unleashes his plan to destroy the world, you can be just like Superman. With a Superman Returns inflato suit, you can pretend to have all the muscles of a Man of Steel. Then, strap on the punch and crush gloves to hear the sound of every punch you throw and everything you crush. Inflato suit accessory, you put it together, batteries not included, punch and crush gloves sold separately. And when trouble hits the skies, you'll be ready with a Fight and Fly FX cape with real flying sounds. This cape responds to every move you make, whether you turn left or right to save the day.
And we're back on Superman Homepage Live, where just quickly wanted to touch on Young Justice Phantoms, the 4th season of the Young Justice animated series. I'm still catching up on season 3, Young Justice Outsiders, so I haven't had the opportunity to watch this new season. But they did release a new graphic showing us the next story arc for Young Justice Phantoms. The first 4 episodes have aired on HBO Max, and a new poster image preparing fans for the next story arc was released online this past week. At the end of the first 4 episodes, we saw a popular member of the original cast appear to have been killed off. I won't give any spoilers away as to who that was, but fans are desperate for more episodes, and they do air weekly on Thursdays on HBO Max, with episode 5 of Young Justice available this Thursday.
Ooh, exciting.
So we do have a super chat, Michael, asking, how did Bubo celebrate Halloween?
Well, I dressed as my favorite, as I usually do, and I gave some kids some candy and stuff, and it was fun. A couple people came by, dressed as those Marvel characters, and I kind of chased them off.
Very good. Yeah, hope everyone did enjoy their Halloween celebrations. We didn't get any trick-or-treaters here. Had some lollies, some candy, as you guys call it, waiting, but no one came knocking.
Lollies is just a more adorable way of describing them. No, we never have trick-or-treaters, just in the neighborhood we live in. I worked that day, so it was just another Sunday. There wasn't really anything big about it. One of my associates dressed up. That was it.
Very good. All right. Before we move into the fan favorite segment of our show, I did a video about the Blu-ray release of Superman, the complete animated series. When the series was released in HD, the remastered series on HBO Max, there was a bit of a green screen glitch in some of the episodes, and in particular episode 3 of The Last Son of Krypton, part 1, and it's where I'll play a bit of the video for you and you'll see what I mean. about the problem. I'll just grab that video for you right now, and you'll see what I mean as far as the green screen glitch was concerned. Back in March 2021, Superman the Animated Series debuted on HBO Max in high definition. However, sharp-eyed fans noticed there was a problem with the remastered footage. In The Last Son of Krypton Part 3, in the scene where Superman confronts Lex Luthor about the LexCorp armor, instead of seeing Superman appearing over Lex's shoulder outside the high-rise building's window, all we see is a green screen background. Fans concerned that this error may have made its way over to the Blu-ray release of Superman the Complete Animated Series can have their fears put to rest, as Warner Bros. Home Entertainment has confirmed that the problem was rectified for the Blu-ray release. So there you have it. It was fixed for the Blu-ray release, but on HBO Max, it wasn't.
That's weird.
Very strange that they would allow that to slip through.
But at least they fixed it. Don't have to do a full recall on the disc and send new ones out. That would be a little time consuming, and cost a lot of money.
John Patrick Van Pelt in the comments is asking in the super chat how I celebrated Halloween. It's not really a celebration that we partake of here in Australia. It has started to pick up over recent years, and you do see a lot more decorations and things. Especially in the shops and kids, but it's not something that I've ever really gotten into. It's an American holiday.
Yeah, it's only really started going over to the UK in recent years. So it's like one of those things where we like to make everything commercial. So it's not so much about celebrating a holiday as just doing something to increase sales of candy. I mean, seriously, I just wait till the day after to buy a bag and put it in the freezer and then eat on it for the next month or so. So
very good. All right, let's get into the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, so last week, what was our fan favorite question, Michael?
It was, what was your favorite part of DC FanDome 2021? And Steve Marshall wrote in and said, my favorite part of DC FanDome was the Black Adam footage. It's the DC, I guess he's trying to say movie there I'm most looking forward to next year. Unfortunately, I felt that FanDome was a bit of a letdown. Not because I was expecting a ton of announcements, I really wasn't. But would it have hurt to have had some sit-down panel discussions? That's where the event lacked for me.
Yeah, there were some sit-down panels, like with the Supergirl farewell one. The cast sat down, but everything was pre-recorded as it is for these things because of the fact that it's a streaming thing. And yeah, I can understand where he's going, but yeah, it's pretty hard to do a panel if you can't get everyone together at the same time. That's the whole idea about FanDome, is that because of the pandemic, they've done an online virtual thing rather than what they do at convention. So unless people are actually working together at the time, it's pretty hard to bring people together for those types of panels, considering what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and I think what it had, with how big they went last year and the tech problems they had, I think they were probably just wanting to make it as simple as possible this year.
Yeah, Mind the Gap asking why wasn't the Val-Zod news at FanDome? Well, I guess it probably only broke afterwards. It wasn't available to them about the writers, and really announcing writers isn't a big news item for FanDome. It's not like they had any footage to show.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all about the visuals. All right, so next
very true.
We had Jack Rocha, who wrote in saying, I would say that my favourite moment from the FanDome was the Black Adam Spotlight teaser as well. So 2 votes for the Black Adam footage.
Alrighty, John Patrick Van Pelt wrote on Sunday, October 24th, I was really excited and happy to see the Flash movie teaser trailer, which looked really good when I saw the post on the Superman homepage. I was not pleased at the Batman teaser trailer because it looked so dark to me, and that is the 2 things I like about DC FanDome 2021. Looking forward to seeing what is in store at DC FanDome next year as well.
Yeah, and supposing that they do a 2022 version with things opening up and conventions taking place kind of a bit more now. It might be a thing of the past, DC FanDome, or maybe lesser capacity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ryan Ignatius Pratt also, he said his favourite moment was from DC FanDome was the teaser trailer for The Flash, especially the voiceover by Michael Keaton and the sight of his Bat Cave. So The Flash getting another vote there as well.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. I was very impressed with it.
So there are the responses that we got from the fan favourite segment of our show. What is our new question for next week, Michael?
When is your favorite time to read comic books?
Yeah, doing a bit of a twist on the favourite thing this week. When is your favourite time to read comic books? Is it, sitting in the afternoon, in the morning, in bed late at night? Let us know when is your favourite, and do you read it on the same day as they're released, or do you wait till the weekend? Get involved in the fan favourite segment of our show. Email address scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now, info@supermanhomepage.com. Get involved, send us your responses to this fan favourite question, and we'll read them out when we return to this segment next week. All right.
Yay!
Let's move into This Week in History.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
All right, this is going to be really short, y'all. You do not have to get strapped in for this one, because the first book is all the way in 1981. November 5th, 1981 saw the release of DC Comics Presents number 42, which had Superman teaming up with the Unknown Soldier. Also had one of the Whatever Happened to backups that was running in DC Comics Presents at the time. Whatever Happened to the Golden Age Sandman. Also on that day, you had Justice League of America, number 199, the Grand Canyon Showdown. And jumping ahead next, going all the way to 1991, we have Action Comics number 672, All This and Lex Luthor 2. This is right after the Blackout storyline, which introduced the Lex Luthor II, who was Australian.
Yay.
Sort of. I'm still amused that you kind of debunked all of the lingo that he used in the course.
If only Tom Taylor was around to write the comics back then.
It would have been that would have been interesting. I mean, nothing against Roger Stern and the other people. That's just kind of how comics. That's just kind of how comics did at that time. And jumping ahead to 2011, Action Comics number 3. Which has a really good Rags Morales cover. And that's it. That's really it. There's no real world stuff. It was just those 3 books. Next week it's going to be a little more robust. But yeah, just not a whole lot going this week.
Not the 1st of November. Not a lot happening. All right, well, let's look into the comic book side of the world of Superman, and there are delays in the comic book industry at the moment.
Yep.
Not because of colorists quitting the comic books, as some people might believe. There is a supply shortage, a supply issue, forcing delays across the whole comic book industry, and so books that were supposed to be released last week, the week before, have been pushed weeks down the track. Action Comics 1036 was one that was particularly delayed. It will now arrive November 9th. It was supposed to be released last week. And in light of the delay, writer Philip Kennedy Johnson, he took to Twitter to share some details on the upcoming issues, specifically in regards to some of the characters we'll be reading about from Warworld. Of course, Superman is headed to Warworld to take on things there, and you'll see there's this particular character who is named Chaital. He's the oldest living Warzone on Warworld, or anywhere else for that matter. Then we also see this interesting image, And it says, yeah, there does look like there are vehicles that resemble vehicles from Earth. He said that's because one of the most vicious Warzone tribes went to Earth at one stage, but because of dumb luck, when the Warzoons discovered a much richer and more convenient world to pillage, they decided not to go to Earth. They just have cars that look like from Mad Max.
Yeah, I was about to say they just tuned into some of the Mad Max films and just went from there. So that works. I mean, yeah, it's really weird. There is a paper shortage here in the States right now. It's impacting my work as well. There's certain types of paper that we can't get in stock that we need to do some of the things that we do at the store. So it's a supply chain, man. It's just keeps getting hit. There's solutions to the problem. No one wants to listen to them.
Yeah. JP in the comments is asking, should we delay reading the upcoming Batman Superman The Authority special one-shot until Action Comics 1036 comes out? We'll have our review up tomorrow for that particular comic book. And our reviewer didn't seem to have any issue with the fact that Action Comics hadn't come out. So it might not be a problem. It may stand on its own without having to know, because I do know that people are complaining or concerned with just how the timelines fit, especially where in Superman the Authority, Superman seems to be older and weaker. So there is, but it supposedly will all shall be revealed, as our good friend who we haven't seen for a long time, Hooger Man used to say.
Hooger Man! Miss Hooger Man. He needs to come on and watch the show. He probably still does. Probably just can't. Maybe just not on Mondays. So
indeed. But so you'll be able to check out that review tomorrow and see what you think if you need to wait and postpone your reading of that. But before we do bring on our first caller, I just wanted to go through the comic books that are available this week, and it is an interesting week of comic books due for release. We have that aforementioned Batman Superman Authority special #1 one-shot, and that is available in this variant cover right here, which is really cool. Also out this week is the Dark Knight of Steel #1. The 12-issue miniseries begins in this issue, written by Tom Taylor. It is available in a number of different variant covers, and I can tell you that our reviewer, who has already submitted their review for this issue, was absolutely thrilled with this and thinks it is fantastic and is well worth a read. So if you're keen, you'll be able to check this one out tomorrow when it's released. Also out this week, Justice League Infinity #5, which makes up the background behind me in tonight's show. And also out this week, one that fans everywhere will be looking forward to, Superman 78 #3. We're already halfway through this 6-issue miniseries, and that is available in this really cool variant cover right there. And then also out this week is the box set of DC Comics Girls Unite, which collects together some Batgirl, Girl Power, Girl of Steel, and Cat Got Your Tongue books. So there you have it. That's what's out this week for fans of comic books.
So that Superman Batman Authority special, Christopher Reeve is playing Superman in that, I'm assuming, based on the cover?
It looks like it, doesn't it? The artwork does look very much
wow.
Christopher Reeve. Let me bring that up for you again so you can see it. There it is there. Very much. Although the S is not Christopher Reeve's costume.
Yeah, that's more of an Alex Ross S, but yeah, that's that face. Wow. Did Gary Frank draw this?
Very cool. Very nice cover. All right, let's bring in tonight's caller. It is Mark Lax, who likes to call in and have a chat with us from time to time. I'm just going to add Mark to our call right now. So Mark, get yourself ready and we will add you to the call, bringing him in right now. And let's have a chat to Mark. calling Mark right now, bringing him in. Hopefully he's going to answer. Hello, Mark.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
Oh, not too bad.
You've actually been talking about comic books. You did the review for Superman 78 number 3, which will be published on our website tomorrow after the comic book is released. You've been enjoying taking that role on?
I have. It's been. I enjoyed the book. There's a few problems with it, but I think, part of it is nostalgia, I guess, that you really enjoy. But I think the art and the story is pretty good. Seeing Brainiac in this universe is interesting, and also the little twist with Kandor, and I don't know. I'm interested to see, where it's going to go, where they're going to go with it.
Indeed. Now, any of the other comic books been of interest to you of late?
Have either of you guys read Superman and the Authority?
Yes, I've been reading it.
Yeah,
I am waiting for the trade.
Steve? What do you think? What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's different in that I like to see Superman trying to lead a team, and especially of these diverse types of characters, and the reactions that different characters have to Superman, especially some of them being villain type characters. So that is interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. What about yourself?
Yeah, I liked it. It's the timeline seems a little confusing. I suppose the end, the way number 4 ended seems to lead into the next big story, but there's still something about the timeline that still doesn't seem to add up to me. And now they have Batman and Superman and the Authority or whatever. So I don't know where that's going to go. But I enjoy it. Grant Morrison's take on Superman, I've liked some of what he's done with Superman, and other things not so much. It's just different. And although again with the timeline, it looks like they're in the crystallized fortress, when in the main book supposedly Bendis brought it into the Bermuda Triangle or something. So I'm just wondering, where Grant Morrison does whatever Grant Morrison wants, but considering it's going to go into this storyline, I'm just wondering, what's what. That's all. I enjoyed it. Different types of characters. Manchester Black, of course, who if I remember when we last saw him, he was a cow, wasn't he? Didn't they do something to him? Am I correct?
Yeah, it was in Peter Tomasi's Superman run.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I guess the Bendis universe is totally different then, and this is maybe an extension from that, or this is a whole new the Grant Morrison universe. I don't know. Not a big problem. I just thought that was kind of funny. Last time we saw him, he was a cow, and now he's But it's an interesting book. It's an interesting take on what's going on, and
and
just wonder.
It's obviously there's still some confusion about the timeline and how it fits in and the continuity of it all, because of it looks like Superman is much older and much weaker, and we just don't know how that kind of fits in or will be explained with what's going on in the main books, because they do connect up in some capacity, but that remains to be seen how they're going to explain that.
And we'll see, I guess, when Action Comics comes out.
Exactly.
We'll see from there. So.
And how did you enjoy DC FanDome?
I liked it. On the one hand, I did like that it was all kind of pre-recorded and done together, so you can sit and just watch the whole thing and then rewatch it and not have a problem with it. On the other hand, it wouldn't have been so bad even pre-recorded if they had longer panels, like that. Obviously, they seem to have a longer discussion with the Supergirl cast than what we saw. So I was just wondering, we could have had maybe a half hour of them talking about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the sneak peeks and the announcement, the surprise announcements, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
The Truth, Justice, and what is it?
A Better Tomorrow.
And A Better Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, but I don't have a problem with that. It's just all the people yelling and screaming about getting rid of America. That's the problem. Then you got to hear all of that stuff. And it's like, look, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't need to listen to you cry and cry. And there's still a place for truth, justice, and the American way as well. So let's just, calm down.
Yeah.
But
indeed.
In general, I enjoy DC FanDome.
Excellent. Well, thanks for calling in, Mark. It's always great to chat with you, and appreciate the work you're doing on the reviews for Superman 78. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
That was Mark Lax calling there. Good to hear from him. All right, as we wrap up, I was really interested in this one to see that this come across, and was surprised that it hadn't happened before, but the Jewish American Hall of Fame honoring Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creators of Superman, by inducting them into the Hall of Fame, and also coming out with this medal, I should say, depicting, get rid of that comic book right there, depicting the two of them on one side of the medal. There are 85 of them produced in bronze, 52 in pure silver, and 28 in gold-plated silver. The medal measures 49 by 47 millimeters. Features, as I said, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster on one side, and then on the reverse side is the fist and pow punching through the Jewish American Hall of Fame logo. These will be available, I think, throughout November, and the ceremony itself will take place on Sunday, November 14th at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Zoom. If you're interested, it's available for free to the public to be part of. All you have to do is email directorjahf@yahoo.com. Again, directorjahf@yahoo.com.
That's really neat.
About time they were recognized in that Hall of Fame. I'm surprised.
That is a bit of a surprise, considering Superman's been around for over 80 years.
Yeah, big time. All right. Also, before we wrap up, the Superman homepage Super Trivia Quiz is available for a new month. 3 questions available for you to answer are: where on Earth did the kryptonite meteor land in the movie Superman the Movie? Upon which famous landmark does Lorelei Ambrosio seduce Superman in the movie Superman 3? And in the movie Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, the Daily Planet became a subsidiary of which media company? If you think you know the answers to all those questions, head to supermanhomepage.com. Under the favorites menu, you will find the Super Trivia Quiz. But that's it for tonight's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching Superman Homepage Live. I want to thank everyone in the comments for your participation, watching us live. Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And thank you to you, my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And remember, if you tuned in late and you missed some of the show, you'll be able to catch Superman Homepage Live in full, both at our website and our YouTube channel. But Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, November 8th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another daily edition of Superman Homepage Live. I look forward to talking to you then. Until then, make sure you check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.